Live from America's heartland, this is the Daily Truth Report with your host, Noah Christopher.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Welcome to the Daily Truth Report. And we have a favorite coming at just the right time back on the show. It's Bo Polny. Welcome back, Bo.
Thanks, Noah. Appreciate it. What a pleasure to be here. Exciting times. You know, we've said forever, silver's going to go through $50 this year. It's not even at 50 anymore, Noah.
It's not. It's incredible. I reached out to see if you wanted to do a new show, and you said, yeah, I think we better do it on Tuesday. It's going to be a hot day. And sure enough, silver has just exploded today, over $61 right now. I mean, Bo, for most of the last 5 years, as you were coming on here, you were preaching about silver, gold, silver, Bitcoin, XRP, but you were saying, silver, keep your eye on it. And that was in the low 20s. And everyone made fun of us. They said, it's never going to go over 30. I mean, you're really out of your mind if it's going to go over 50. And I mean, we're sitting here today. It's December 9th, 2025, and it's at $61, moving $2-3 a day at this point. So absolutely amazing call on that, Bo. Let's just start right there. Silver's blowing my mind.
Well, I'll tell you this. It's fun to laugh and say, this is great, watching all this and, saying, we got it right. But honestly, the glory's got to go to God. And to be honest, and why I'm saying this is because he uses us as vessels to let the world know what's coming. And then there's the world, right? The world either thinks that we know what we're talking about. So we have, the Lord actually calls those that listen to us the in crowd. And then the rest of the world thinks we're nuts, right? But all of the ones that think we're nuts are now going, man, shoulda, woulda, didn't.
Yep.
Right?
And that's right. And I've been here. I've lived through the whole thing. I've gotten all the emails, all the comments that said, you guys are crazy. And look, we're not here giving anybody financial advice because everyone's situation is different, but we have been saying, keep your eye on silver. And boy, did that turn out to be right. So absolutely amazing. It is December 9th, as I said, 2025. These things get clipped up and shared all the time. And that's fine. Share it everywhere. Bitcoin and XRP also running like crazy. I think we'll talk more about that towards the end of the interview, but it's not just silver. Crypto is starting to look really good right now.
Yeah, I wrote in my last crypto report, the private report for subscribers, it was rather a disappointing 4-year cycle for the alternate coins. As great as XRP was, it got to like $3-ish, right? So yeah, rah, joy. But you got to admit, right? It's still kind of a sucky number because, we're looking for a lot bigger numbers. And then we saw, if you've read my newsletter back in October, and I forgot what the date was in October, we sold everything in the newsletter, right? So we were out because we saw that crash was coming. And like what we've always said, you're right, cycles precede events, right? So Noah and I did a podcast. Again, we don't need any glory for this. I'm just telling you, using cycles, you can predict what's coming. That's the point I'm trying to make here, okay? So Noah and I did a podcast. It's on Rumble. Anybody can go find it. It's, we talked about nailing the bottom on Bitcoin. So Noah and I did a podcast, and I remember this because it was kind of fun. I just left Israel. We were in Switzerland at the time, and I did a podcast with Noah in November of the year 2022. And we said Bitcoin was going to crash. It did crash. We found out it was the FTX scandal. And then we also said that month is going to be a final bottom for the years forward. Think about the saying that on a, the craziness of saying that this is the bottom right here. And it's going to go up for the next years to come. Okay. That's what we said. There's 750,000 views on that video. Okay.
Yep.
It's insane. And it was exactly right. And every single newsletter that I wrote for the private subscribers, I've literally written that was the bottom and the top is going to come in the year 2025. This has been written for 3 years now. And furthermore, as we got closer, I started writing it's going to top out in fall of 2025. Okay. And then we sold at the top, right around the top. Tops are a little difficult because of the patterns can shift. So we got out, in the somewhere near the top, get the exact date we dumped.
Mm-hmm.
But we got in on the drop. And I remember I was getting emails, actually. It was like a week ago or something, that the Bitcoin is expected to do one final sharp drop into Monday. And it was like, hey, it's Sunday. It's not happening, right? It's morning. And next thing you know, markets open on Sundays, boom, straight down $5,000.
Yes. Well, so Bo, I have to comment on this because And yeah, I'll toot your horn for you, because this was wild. You started putting in your private newsletter, and we can talk about it now because the time is coming past, and so we always have to be respectful to the people that are your subscribers. But you had been writing in there that you were getting ready to sell everything because you thought we were at a local
and the
high.
word was everything too.
Everything. And
I've never written that before. Think about that.
No,
this is not advice.
no.
I said I personally am selling everything.
Yeah, you did. And in the 5+ years I've been reading your newsletter, you've never said that. And so you did. And I thought, ooh, I don't even know why I doubt you, but when I read that, I thought, oh, I don't know, Buzz. I don't know if that sounds like a great idea. But you printed it, you stuck by it, and you sold, and then you bought back in after it dipped when it was somewhere in the 70s, is roughly what I can tell. But absolutely amazing to not only call that, but to do it. I was worried for you when I saw you put that report, and I said, oh no, Bo, don't say that. But you nailed it again. I mean, so just absolutely incredible. If anyone is watching this, back me up on this. If you're one of Bo's paid newsletter subscribers, drop me a comment and just let me know that you can confirm you've read that in there. Because I can tell you I have. It was in there, and I got so nervous for you, Bo, but I've just never seen anything like it. And now I'll tell you this. So you talk in your newsletter about what you did. So I'm reading this and I'm going, oh geez, Bo, I don't know about that. But and I have stuff that I've held for so many years that it's just in such a positive gain that I didn't want to take the tax gains on it. So I didn't sell all of my stuff, but I had one coin that I don't think you cover in your newsletter, so I won't say what it is. But I had one coin that I've been buying. I think it's going to do something good, but it's been down ever since I've been buying it. So I kind of had a tax loss in there. So I sold that one when you sold your stuff. And sure enough, that one went down too. And I picked up about 1 million more of them. It's real cheap price coin, but I sold it and bought back in when you did yours. I got a little tax loss harvesting, and then I added to my holdings just by doing that plan. So thank you, Bo. Very nice.
Well, and it's fun to watch the internet. Literally, it was when you go on X, right? It was lit up on everybody. Why is Bitcoin crashing? What is going on? Remember the X? It was lit up. They're talking about Michael Saylor and how his business is gonna go bankrupt. The X had lit up all over the place on Bitcoin crashing, right?
It did, and I still, to this day, I don't know if there's a good reason for why it crashed. It just started crashing right when the time said it was supposed to.
That's the point, right? Cycles precede events. So it doesn't matter the event. Sometimes we'll find out the event later on why this all happens. All I know, it was in the cycle. So you have to, after a 3-year window, you have to kind of act on that window. And now we're at a moment in time where a very important leg is about to begin. And again, we'll talk about that later, but there's a time point here on cryptocurrencies that it's about to get exciting again. So yes, it's going up. We haven't seen anything yet. Okay. So it's coming. It's in the not too distant future, but again, the cycles, what's going to cause it? We're going to watch the day of when this goes down, but the cycle's already written that there's a time point coming here where it's going to start to light up again. But in the meantime, forget about the cryptos, man. We are watching silver just go bonkers right now. It's literally, as you and I speak right now, it's at $60 and on the spot price and 68, almost 70 cents. Okay. And please go back and listen to our podcast. What if Noah and I have been saying on these podcasts, silver is not, when it gets going, it's going to start accelerating. Okay. It's going to begin accelerating. There it is. Now it's on your chart. It's at $61. Okay. Silver is going to begin accelerating. And the first target is what? $68. Okay. To $70. So we could see it today yet. We could see it tomorrow. We could see it this week. Again, see, what I'm trying to say is that when you have a target, it's basically, it becomes like a vacuum. And so there's a resistance line at $68, $70 right now, particularly $68, $69. And so what it becomes is like a magnet. We're seeing silver accelerating. Literally, it's up $3 as we speak on the day so far, because it's accelerating towards that 68, 69 target. That's the crazy part, right? So yeah, it's so fun to watch it at 61, but it hasn't even exploded yet. There's prophecies about silver going to explode, okay? Silver moving $3 in the past, say, 4 hours, that's an exciting price move. That's not an explosion, okay? A silver explosion when you see them happen, they're things to experience. They're like like a volcanic eruption. When that thing explodes, it'll go. It might go $20 in a single day.
Mm-hmm.
That's an explosion. A $10 move in a single day. Okay, so we have $3 is fun to watch. It's not an explosion.
Yeah, that's right. And you've been saying it for years. $5, $10, $20 move in a day is coming. There was a time when silver traded at $20, and it wasn't that long ago. And boy, we've talked about it for years on this show. So it's still kind of stunning to my eyes to look at the price and see 61. I mean, it's absolutely wild. And you're right, it hasn't exploded yet. It's really been kind of a slow melt up. It crossed over 50 and just been kind of adding a dollar here and a dollar there. And at some point, Bo, I mean, doesn't the market even just kind of break? I mean, I think there's so much paper shorting that it's just, at some point, it just goes crazy, right?
Yeah, that's what an explosion is. It's basically an explosion would tie into a loss of control. Okay, so that's what an explosion is they've manipulated. Control is manipulation. So when you look at a cycle chart, what you're going to see, especially on a long-term chart pattern, actually, I sent you one if you want to pop it up on the screen.
Okay.
But on that chart, I'm going to see if you get the page number here. But on the chart I sent you, you'll see what I'm basically I look, because when it starts making these big highs, you can no longer look at the daily candles. You literally have to zoom out and go back like 10, 20. In this case, you have to go back 45 years. So 50 years. So if you look on slide 17, this is basically, looking at the events that we're seeing right now, the price moves. We're looking backwards 50 years, 45 to 50 years, if that makes sense. Okay. So we're looking at because you can't no longer, the small cycles can't work anymore because it's now going to uncharted territory. Okay. So you have to now look at it from a big long-term perspective. And so when I draw charts out, when you draw a chart out on silver, it's like, if you look above your head, you have like a roof. Okay. So those are resistance points. So you can see like it says $28 resistance broke in May 2024 there in black. And then you'll see $36 weekly finally broke it as well too. And that actually happened in September into October. So we're seeing these roofs break. But when these final roofs break, then you have to tilt everything on an angle because there's no more roofs that you can use anymore. Like you can't use $50 roof anymore. It's gone, right? So now you got to tilt your screen on an angle. So when you tilt that screen on an angle, what you're seeing is specifically that resistance that literally lines up with 2011. It comes in at $69.
That's amazing.
So in other words, the next short, and this is a short-term resistance, is $69. And it could happen this week. It could happen today into the close, or tomorrow. Tomorrow's the FOMC announcement, right?
Oh, yes.
Right. And so that's a house right there, and the candlesticks are blowing through the house, right? So what's happening is the charts, once the final high is taken out, the final high was 50. Once the 50 is taken out, then you're looking at long-term vacuums. So it starts sucking it up. It's called acceleration. So it's like it took gold, as an example, Noah, forever to get to $2,000. Okay. Then, I believe last year, it finally got through $2,000, and then it came back down and it bounced off of it. So we watched a battle at 2,000. And then finally, when it broke free of 2,000, it went relatively quickly to 3,000. And now it hasn't taken much time to get to 4,000. It's at 40, as we speak right now. What's it, at 42 or 43, 4,300 right now, 4,300. It took forever to get to 3,000. And then it's accelerated, forever to get to 2,000. Then it moved relatively quickly to 3,000. And to get to 4,000 didn't take long at all. And now it's through 4,000. And now it's about to get exciting. That's the crazy part, Noah. We haven't seen the explosion yet. I'm laughing because it's about to happen. Like everything we're talking about, it's right in front of us at the doorstep of what we've talked about forever. So as you and I speak right now, gold is at $4,208.
Yeah.
Think about that, right? Yeah. And so it only took it a year and a half or so to double in price. But silver, it's doubled in price this year. That's the wild part. You see,
yes, that's right.
Silver's accelerating. Gold took 2 years to double in price. Silver did it in 1 year. It started out the year at like at $29, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
It's at 60. It's over 60. It's doubled
Mm-hmm.
in 1 year. Okay, and we haven't seen an explosion yet. The next target's $68. The chart underneath it, slide 18, actually shows you the ratio. Okay, this ratio is actually critical. It's super important because the gold to silver ratio is one of the most important things you want to understand if you're involved in precious metals. Okay, so if you have precious metals, you truly want to understand the ratio.
Mm-hmm.
And why? Because the ratio means it's a God ratio. It's not an opinion. Okay, you can ask anybody who digs gold out of the ground. Okay, they're called the mining companies. When they dig for gold, they normally don't dig for silver. They dig for gold. And when you dig for gold, you get silver at about 10-1. So at the end of processing, you'll have for every 1 ounce of gold you have, you'll roughly have 10 ounces. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you can debate it. Some people say it's 15. I don't care, but it's not 80. Okay, because right now when you check, the ratio is somewhere between 70 and 80. Because right now, if you do the math at 4,200 divided by $61, the ratio right now is $68. 68%. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
or 68-1, not percent, 68. So
Right.
it's nearly 70. So in other words, it's supposed to be roughly 10-1. So silver right now is still 7 times cheaper than gold. Think about that. It's 7 times cheaper than gold. You can sell an ounce of gold right now and get roughly 68 pieces of silver. That's insanity because you're supposed to only get 10 if you're going to go dig it out of the ground.
Yeah, that's right.
So what's happening? This ratio is narrowing. Okay, so when you look back it says 421, the death cycle. That was the death of the Pope. Incredible. If this is God's money, it should relate to biblical. Well, it did because on 421, I did a podcast. Oh, what happened? Pope died. And we said, watch 421, something biblical is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And the death of the Pope, I guess, would classify as biblical, would it not? The largest body in the world, biblically, right? So
Mm-hmm.
the Catholic Church, so the Pope is dead. And what does the Pope represent? The church in Babylon.
Mm.
Very important to understand. So the Babylonian system, remember they create church. And again, specifically, they built that church on the shoulders of a man, Peter. Okay, that was never scripture. It's specifically that God's going to build a church on the shoulders of Jesus, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Pope is dead on 421. Since 421, exactly. You can even zoom in on that 421 candlestick, Noah. To the exact day was the bottom of the ratio, not the price of silver or the price of gold. The ratio was at its highest point. It was like roughly 100 or something like that. That's the death of the Pope, and on exact day, the ratio was at its highest level in a long, long time. And so from the death of the Pope, silver has been outperforming, meaning moving up more than gold not every single day because it's up and down, but the pattern, the trend has been up ever since. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
So since the death of the Pope, silver has been outperforming gold from that exact date. So in other words, if gold's going up, silver becomes gold on steroids,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because it's going to keep narrowing that ratio. And you're seeing silver, like as we speak today, as exciting as silver is and gold is, just if I go to the chart here on the percentages, here's an example, okay? Silver is up 4.3%, almost 5% on the day.
Mm-hmm.
And gold's only up 0.4, not even up 1% on the day. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm showing you is silver is narrowing the range and it's accelerating relative to gold. So silver is about to move to proportions we can't even understand because it's going to start exploding. Gold's going to go up and silver is going to absolutely explode.
Well, Bo, you have said on this show many times that $100 silver is coming. And I think you've even said much bigger targets than that. But, when silver's at $20 or $19, it's kind of hard to visualize that. Okay, Bo, silver's going to be 100. It's not so hard to visualize anymore as we sit here today, December 9th, 2025, sitting at $61. I mean, it looks within reach.
Well, you know what? Like literally you can go back to November 24th. Yeah, that candlestick on the page 17 right above you. And when you look at that candlestick, it literally shows you on November 24th, it started accelerating, right? And it started leaping vertical. So from Thanksgiving, okay, it's moved from from whatever, like from 50 something dollars, it's moved $12.
Yeah. No, I
What the
know.
heck, right? Like, how exciting is this, right? So we're seeing this massive price acceleration, and it was interesting that they had to shut down the trading
Yes, they did.
on silver when? Black Friday. So the markets opened up and they started jumping, exploding. The CME, they blamed it on circuit breakers and this and that, overheating. They did, okay, because they have to have an excuse, but they shut it down for 8 hours. And it's still on Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. It closed up $3 in a single day. As you and I speak right now, it's up and it's at $2 and it's up $2.55 as we speak at this moment in time. So it's $60.63 right now. So, it's beginning to accelerate and it's going to jump here. They got circuit breakers every $3. So, we're going to have a day here where it's going to hit circuit breakers and they're going to have to shut down the trading. And then the breakers, I believe, lock up for 5 minutes and then they open it up again and it can move another $3. And then the trading will lock up for 5 minutes and then it could go another $3. So there's 4 breakers, which means it could move $12 in 20 minutes every time the breakers open. Like, think about that for a minute. So,
yeah. Well, both the last time silver hit 50, or I guess it never actually hit it, but it came very close back with the Hunt brothers in, I believe, the 1980s. The big bankers, they were able to slam it down. They kept it under 50, and then they for decades it started a decades-long downward move. They successfully slapped it down at 50 back then, and then now 2025 is the second time that happened.
So on the left side, 1980, that's the Hunt brothers on the left. You can see on the chart, that's the Hunt brothers. Okay, on the left, 1980.
Big spike right here.
Yep. And then you see what's called a cup. It made a massive cup, and it came back up into 2011. And then right there, they found, allegedly found bin Laden, and boom, massive crash. So they got to have an excuse always, right? So then they crashed down, and then it went from 2011, it made a handle, and in October, so last month, it broke the handle at $45, and then it went through the purple handle at 47. Once it went through 45 through 47, right where that arrow's pointing in the purple right there in the 47 mark, now 47 became support. So what did it do? Went to 53, dropped to 47, and it turned at 47. And now, as we speak, it's at $60 plus. Okay. So forget about them having control. This is a nightmare for the banks right now. Okay. They're losing control. This is their absolute nightmare. A cup and handle chart pattern basically is now confirmed and broken. And all it is up, up, and away. This thing is about to get wild on what's about to happen here. This is going to be a biblical explosion, and this will be just devastating for the banks. Why? No, because what have the banks been doing for generations? They've been shorting it, okay? What does shorting mean? Okay, so you've got Bank A, they have a bunch of money, and they keep buying short positions, meaning they're betting it down. So they keep betting it down, and then Bank B is selling it to them. The next month, Bank B is buying it, and they just switch positions. So Bank A and Bank B have been doing this forever. They just keep swapping of who's buying and who's shorting, right? And so they've done this, and they keep creating derivative contracts out of thin air. I'm going to repeat that again. Out of thin air. Slide 27, Noah. This is your out of thin air. Actually, I wanted to have, because I know what I'm saying is correct, but I actually went through Grok on slide 27. This is fascinating. Those of you have a phone, you can scan that QR code. It's the funniest conversation I had with Grok, so the AI system. Because I said, hey, so take the top 25 nations in the world and give me their total debt. Okay. So the total debt comes out to $110.9 trillion of government debt of the top 25 nations. Okay. So this is the debt of the top 25 nations of the world. You'll see here that in the 70s, we were in the millions, so 6 zeros. We went to 9 zeros. And then every decade, the next, then we're at 12 zeros. And now with derivative contracts, we're at 15 zeros. Okay. Understand what I'm saying here is this is money creation out of thin air. Okay. So I'm like, okay, I've been saying that, but let's see if AI confirms this. Okay. So I asked the questions. You can scan the QR code. You can see my questions. They're very specific. And here's the final answer. So the answer is AI answered yes. It was created out of thin air by the financial system's ability to expand credit. And no, this money did not exist 50 years ago.
I'm reading it right with you. I scanned the QR code and it's great.
So they create money out of thin air. They sell these derivative contracts on silver, 500 to 1 from what I'm hearing. Again, this is what I hear, leverage. So in other words, it's like they have 1 ounce of silver selling it to 500 people on paper. You get what I'm saying? So 1 ounce of real silver is sold to 500 or more people. I don't know the number, but it's something like that. Apparently I'm hearing 500 people believe they own that physical ounce of silver on these contracts, on these paper contracts. It's like someone has a house and they legally sell that house to 500 people.
And very serious note for everybody listening. What Bo just said is a very real concern. I've heard there's been a lot of people that have addressed this. And so that when we talk about gold and silver, and it's very exciting that they're at silver's at $61. When we talk about silver, you need to make sure you have physical silver. You can go on the stock market and you can trade the ticker symbol GLD or the ticker symbol SLV. Those are paper representations that may or may not be backed by all the silver that they have. And if everybody goes and tries to get their silver at the same time, there may not be enough to go around. So I'm not calling those scams, but I am saying if you own GLD or SLV, I would strongly consider getting out of those and getting into something that is physical.
When they smash the price of silver sometimes, they use the entire year supply of silver to take the price down in a single day.
Yeah.
Sometimes they use a year or two of the above ground silver supply to smash. You can't do these transactions. It's not possible to sell the entire year above ground supply of silver in a single day. All I know is what I show you right here. I show you that an AI confirmed it. I know for a fact that in the 70s, there was not $1 trillion on this earth, period. There wasn't, period. AI confirms it. So if there wasn't $1 trillion on the earth, everybody needs to ask themselves the one simple question: where did it come from?
Yeah, and everyone else also needs to ask themselves, why in the hell they need my tax dollars on April 15th? Oh, you really need my $2,000 taxes on April 15th or whatever it's going to be. I mean, give me a break. I'm sick of this.
Well, and it's an enslavement system, right? And so when you look at money supply, right? So you talk about money supply. If you go back to slide 17, what you need to understand is at that time, when silver spiked in 1980, gold went to $850, silver went to $49 and change.
Mm-hmm.
Now, those who understand what happened there was it hit the price of gold and silver collectively met the money supply. So gold and silver spiked vertical and they met the money supply. The problem is for the world right now, if gold and silver were to spike to meet money supply, people, we're in 15 zeros right now. Okay. $2,000 silver becomes an absolute joke.
Wow.
Okay. So that's what you got to understand. So all I know is that it doesn't matter the prices that come. They're going to be biblical. God has spoken that he's going to take down the bankers and he's going to use silver because they sold his son for that of a slave, 30 pieces of silver. If you understand the concept of flipping the scales, when God flips the scales, everything they did turns on them. Okay. So if they sold Jesus for 30 ounces of silver as a slave, God's going to use the silver to take down the bankers.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so that creates what we call the silver squeeze. Okay. So what's a silver squeeze? It basically means that silver starts spiking aggressively vertical. And every time it goes up $1, like right now, silver's gone up $1, $2, right? They've leveraged it in the billions. So every dollar equates to billions of dollars lost by the banks. Okay. So right now, like today, with it going up to, as we're speaking, $2.50, that's quite a few billions of dollars the banks are negative right now. And if it doesn't come back down, they have to realize that loss, and that becomes devastating to the banks. That'll blow a bank up.
Yeah,
that's called, that's kind of like that musical chairs, right?
Right.
When the stops playing, there's someone that doesn't have a chair, right? And so when there's no one, when the price explodes, there's no one buying it. It's just going to explode. No one's going to want it. And so these short positions, they're just going to have to liquidate.
Mm-hmm.
And that causes a massive explosion of biblical proportions. So you could see silver explode to $100, $90 in a single day on a silver squeeze. So it could go from where it is right now. It could literally go to $90 this week, next week, this month. Yeah. In other words, we're at a point of a silver squeeze that's about to happen because the banks, all they're going to do is they're going to have to liquidate, take the loss. So in other words, they're going to have to take it in the pants. And the computer models immediately, this is high-speed electronic trading. They're only going to know one thing. On a breakout like this, what you do is you call buy the breakout. So the computer models are buying the breakout right now. So they're all going long. And there's bankers, commercials holding these short positions that are about to be squeezed to a measure that's going to be so painful, it's going to be biblical. And that's going to take down the banking system as we know it. But what does that tie into? It ties into a jubilee. What is a jubilee? It's debt destruction. It's removal of the yoke off of our necks. You talked about, paying taxes. Taxes are a yoke because that's bondage, okay? And bondage is basically by paying Caesar, you keep paying the system to keep you poor. God doesn't want his children to be poor, but Babylon does. And so this takes us into a time point of extreme interest that we're sitting in right now because of the clocks that we're looking at right now. Now, why I say that is because, Noah, do you know what tomorrow is? Tomorrow on the Julian calendar is Thanksgiving. Tomorrow is an FOMC announcement.
Yes,
I wonder what they're going to say because they're in a massive pickle right now because as we speak, silver is over $60. What are they going to say? Because right now, silver's running the race, not the FOMC.
Mm-hmm.
It's very exciting to watch all this play out right now on everything that's happening. And also on slide 8, there is a prophecy of Kim Clement, and he talked about the mulberry bush. Going to give you the mulberry bush prophecy, and it states, the mulberries are bookends of the harvest year. The mulberry trees mark both the start and the end of the entire growth harvest season. Like bookends holding up a row of books, they frame the whole year of food production. Mulberries don't just grow food, they define the harvest year's boundaries. The mulberry season ends tomorrow, the 10th. We've got the Kim Clement prophecies of they fall in fall.
Mm-hmm.
Fall ends on December 21. So I'm saying tomorrow being the 10th, into the 21st, you're talking 11 days. All heck is about to break loose starting tomorrow. So if you think today's exciting, you ain't seen tomorrow yet. I'm just telling you, it's very wild. Now, remember we played the prophecy of Kim Clement about the Revelation 12 sign?
Oh, of course.
Okay. I don't know if we want to play it again, but Revelation 12 sign, it says there'll be a sign in the heavens.
Mm-hmm.
And that sign is about the birth. Okay. Well, what's Revelation 12 going to give birth to? It's going to give birth to what? The latter house. Haggai 2:9. The latter house will be greater than the former. It gives birth to my glory shall fill the earth. Numbers 14:21. So God moves upon the earth with his glory. When his glory falls upon the earth, everything changes. Now, the interesting part is the Revelation 12 sign was September 23rd, 2017. The next slide, if you add 3,000 days to the exact day, It's tomorrow.
Wow. Okay.
And the next slide talks about hypnotic November. Now, why do I say that? Because per the Julian calendar, November does not end until this Saturday, the 13th. This Saturday, the 13th, is the last day of November, which means December starts on Sunday, the 14th, which means that per the Julian calendar, we're still in hypnotic November. If we go to slide 13, why this is important, because Pope Gregory, remember, this is a part of Babylon. Fallen is Babylon the Great. She has become a dwelling place for demons, Revelation 18. If that scripture ain't true right now, I don't know what is. Well, the dwelling place for demons, but what does it say? Fallen is Babylon the Great. So Babylon, through Pope Gregory, changed the clocks, changed the calendars. If it changed the calendars, Gregory removed 10 days from the calendar in 1582. Just removed them. As of now, there's 3 more days into that. So now the Julian calendar is 13 days behind. So let me ask you a question. If this is the Gregorian calendar, Noah, so if Babylon falls, shouldn't its calendar? Right? So the Lord revealed to me, we're going to go back to the Julian calendar to remove the fake calendar. So next slide 14, we're about to witness next year, we're going to move away from the Gregorian calendar. I don't know how this is going to play out, but God says specifically, we're going to go back to the true calendar.
Wow.
Okay. Because the Gregorian we're using, it's fake. It's deception. They're hiding the truth. They're hiding things with that calendar. It's very interesting. And so so the Julian calendar says that specifically this Saturday is the last day of November, which means hypnotic November should have happened between today and Saturday. Are you with me? What does that mean? Well, what does hypnotic mean to us? Something you're just watching in awe, right? Like you're just watching going, whoa. You're just watching events going like, whoa. Like what would be hypnotic that we can correlate? How about 9/11, right? Wouldn't hypnotic would be like you're just staring at that TV going, whoa, right? Like if you had to define hypnotic, how would you define it, Noah? And would 9/11 be a good example?
No, I think that's the perfect example. Everyone just stopped what they were doing. I was in classes that day and the classes just stopped and everyone you turned on the TV and you just sat there and watched and it didn't seem real. And then no one knew what to do next.
And that's the prophecy. We're about to see 9/11 on steroids worldwide. So 8 billion people are about to see this event go down. It's Joel 2:31, the great and the terrible day of the Lord. Okay. And so the first day of December starts this Sunday, the 14th. Okay. Well, why is that important? This is crazy. So the Lord showed me the math on this when you look at the clocks. So if the devil's been messing with the clocks, let's look at the Enoch calendar on page 15. So you go to page 15 and this is very simple to understand. Sept is 7. Oct, 8. In Latin, Novem is actually 9. And in Latin, December is 10. Okay, this is Latin. Very simple. Okay, and so when you read Haggai 2, it talks about the 24th day of the 9th month. Let's repeat that, the 24th day of the 9th month. So what's the 9th month, Noah, based on the Julian calendar? November.
Yep, right on the screen.
And based on Latin, November. Okay, so Latin and the Julian calendar tell us that right now we're still in November. Let's now add the Enoch calendar. Go ahead and scan that QR code. So Noah, if you got a phone, scan the QR code. Go to the very bottom, and what does it say? Read it out. I want you to confirm it.
All right. Give me a second here.
Go to the last paragraph.
Last
I asked some
paragraph.
very specific questions. Go ahead and ask.
Final answer. Okay, here, let me do this. All right, final answer. Using the traditional Enoch 364-day calendar anchored to the Wednesday creation day rule, the 24th day of the 9th month in 2025 falls on December 12th.
There you go. And if you read the paragraph below that, depending on if you use Wednesday or not, it could be 12th through the 14th. Read that last paragraph. One more paragraph.
Yep. Note a few modern Enoch groups that fix the year to the spring equinox instead of the Wednesday rule place the same date on December 13th or 14th, but December 12th is the correct date according to the original Enoch Jubilees reckoning.
There you go. Okay, so which means that the 12th, if we go to the calendar of time, the 12th specifically would take us to this Friday.
Yep.
13th and the 14th. So very interesting. So this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are lining up to be very, very interesting. Because what does it say about the 24th day of the 9th month? Right there, we're looking at the slide. It says in Haggai 2, it says, I, God, will once more shake the heavens and the earth, the sea and the dry land. I will shake all nations. He's going to shake the world. This is 9/11 on steroids.
Mm-hmm.
I will fill this house with glory. And there is specifically what we're talking about with reference, the latter house will be greater than the former. In that scripture, it says the silver is mine, the gold is mine. And then it finishes off with this, I think number 8, it's Haggai 2:18. It says, he will do this on the 24th day of the 9th month. So the Enoch calendar is saying the 12th, this Friday, in through the 14th. Now let's go to the next slide, slide 16. This is what the Lord showed me. This is wild because if you look at if you want to scan that QR code, but you don't have to because I took a copy paste of it. It's right in front of you right there, Noah.
Mm-hmm.
Kislev is the 9th month. The 24th day is Sunday, December 14th.
Mm-hmm.
So the Enoch calendar says between the 12th and the 14th that the Hebrew calendar, God's calendar, literally Kislev 24 is Sunday, December 14th. From this day forward, then he finishes off, I will bless you. So from the 14th onwards, God will bless his church. What I'm telling you is that everything we have waited for, it's staring us in the face. So Sunday starts December 1. The hypnotic November, it goes through this Saturday, okay, which ties in with now into tomorrow, the 10th, into the 11th, into the 12th, Friday, okay? So the stage is set for Enoch, for the Hebrew calendar. All the stage is totally set. We're watching right now, silver exploding. It's over $60 as we speak, okay? Everything that we have spoken about is at the doorstep of prophecy about to be fulfilled, and it directly ties in. We've talked about this before with an angel of death moment, Noah, because you got to type in shadow this, because there's got to be a type and shadow of this event.
Mm-hmm.
And Israel was in bondage for 400 years. Moses showed up and they were freed from captivity after 400 years, okay? But this is critical if you want to go back to full screen here. What was the triggering event that caused and allowed Israel to be freed from bondage? The angel of death.
Sure.
Because the angel of death was the moment of time where God sent his angel, and in the morning, it was joy in the morning. But understand, the Exodus time point, the angel of death, where they're painting the doorposts, that was when they were free from captivity, but it was horror at nighttime because there was, in Egypt, it was people dying everywhere, firstborn dying everywhere. So that was terrible. But what happened in the morning, Noah? Weren't they freed from captivity?
Mm-hmm.
Joy in the morning. There's your great. So we had in scripture, I can give you a great and terrible day. It was the day Israel was freed from captivity after 400 years. It started with the angel of death. We've played the videos numerous times about an angel of death prophecy, numerous prophets, 5 that I can count on my hands that have all referenced the angel of death on the earth. Okay. So God is going to remove these people. It's called the Nephilim spirit. They occupy, so they're disembodied spirits from the great flood. So the bodies are dead, giants are dead, Nephilim are dead, not their spirits.
Mm-hmm.
The spirits occupy people. They're occupying mankind. Who? Hollywood, Washington, all over the world. You watch why these politicians, they want to let everybody in the country. They want to go against Trump, trying to get all of Trump's political people they put in, trying to get them all out of office. They're fighting because they're bringing on a satanic agenda. And God's going to remove these people in the blink of an eye in a 24-hour window. It's the great and the terrible day of the Lord, Joel 2, verse 31. And it's written, Psalms 37:10, in a little while the wicked will be no more. Though you look for them, they will not be found. What does that mean? It means that they're just gone. So we're about to see people disappearing in the blink of an eye on national television. People will have friends that they're in a room with, all of a sudden they just disappear. I know this is wild, but I know that God has spoken that this is going to happen. And let me say the one part about this, why this is critical, because when this happens, the one thing the devil will never acknowledge is that he's real and that God is real. Specifically, he'll never acknowledge the existence of God. Because if he acknowledges the existence of God, then automatically the world knows there's a devil, and they're going to find out very quickly that he's a forever loser. He always loses, okay? And so the only thing that they can acknowledge when this event happens is what? Who did it, Noah? The aliens. I'm telling you, this is crazy. But what a coincidence that 3-eye Atlas thing they're talking about right now. And I'm just going to tell you that this event's going to go down. It's going to be the great and terrible day. It's going to be 9/11 on steroids worldwide. It ties it with silver exploding to probably $80, $90, $100. It's going to be the greatest thing we've ever seen financially. Joy in the morning, but it starts off with a scary event, just like back to Exodus that happened with Israel and Egypt. It's going to be a type and shadow of that, but worldwide. And it's going to be the fall of the Babylonian cartel system. And these people are going to be stopped in their tracks. And like I've said, you're never going to see silver at $100 without an act of God. Heck, you're never going to see silver at $50 without an act of God. And right now, silver's at $61. Okay, so we're seeing right now an act of God. So anybody saying, oh, you haven't seen anything yet? Are you serious? Silver's at $61 right now. We told you this is going to happen. So just because it hasn't exploded yet, are you kidding me? Silver is making history right now. So don't tell me that, we haven't seen anything yet. Are you kidding me? Silver's at $61. It's not even in the 50s anymore, is it, Noah?
Yeah, no, it's definitely not. Yeah, no, it's just been incredible. I'm just reading some of the comments here. There's one guy, let me see if I can find this. Sometimes when I say, Bo, people complain all the time, or they say that'll never happen. Yeah, the haters are so funny to me. Let me see if I can find this. Let's see.
I love the one saying is about fools, right? They love stating their opinion.
Yeah. Well, like look at this one, and I almost don't like to give attention to the trolls and the haters, but first of all, coming from someone whose name is Deep in Your Mom 1737, real classy name there. Been following Bo since 2019. Don't gamble on what he says; you will lose a lot of money. I just don't know how people can be this dumb. But congratulations, troll! You got me to post your comment. If you've been listening to Bo since 2019, you were buying silver at $15, and we're now at a 4x at 60. So
you've more so tripled your money, not even doubled it. Okay, I find it fascinating that there are people that are so demonically possessed or lost, or just angry individuals. Yeah. But here's the thing is, God still loves you, and he's going to shake you awake. As time progresses here, there's only two sides of the fence. There's Team Jesus and Team Devil, okay? So even that person and these people, the haters, they're going to have to choose a side, and they're going to have to choose this day whom they will serve. And it's a choice, because it's not about what's going to happen, Noah. What's going to happen, I'll tell you. Silver is going to explode to $100 because it's already through 60. Okay, it's going to go to eventually 4 digits. All this is going to happen. No one can stop what's going to happen. But it's like the haters that hate Bitcoin, right? Because they never bought it when it was $100. They never bought it when it was $1,000, so now they hate it. Now they hate silver because it's $60, and they never bought it when it was 20. You see, what I'm trying to tell you is that everything that we've spoken about is going to come to pass. I don't need to be right about it. It's God's will to bless his church and all who listen. And what I'm saying is it's sad, but there are people that want the scoffers, but God will shake you awake. And if you choose to be like Pharaoh, to dig in your heels and work for your, for the father, the devil, you have your father, the devil, then that's your choice as well too. But ultimately, there's only one thing in life, Noah. It's not about who wins, because it's written. In the book of Jubilees, it's not about when it happens, because you can calculate when it happens. It's in my book. You can actually calculate the time we're living in. You can calculate it, okay? So it's not about who wins. It's not about when the victory is. It's about where you will be at victory time. Who will you be serving? Will you be with the Lord? Will you be with Jesus Christ? Will you have chosen wisely? It's like that, the Raiders of the Lost Ark. They chose poorly.
He chose poorly.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. And that's not funny, but it is, in a way, it's, the only thing in life is choice, because we win. There's a time point we win. And the only variable is where you will be. Will you spend all eternity with Christ in heaven, on earth, and with Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior? Will you be with the Lord for all eternity? Because earth is a blip in time. Literally, boom, there's your time on earth.
Yeah.
Relative to all eternity. Okay? Yep. Blip. Or will you be with a father of lies for all eternity? Because it's a battle for nothing but your soul.
So true. So true. Well, let me clear up one more thing in the comments. I think maybe these people came in late and they didn't hear our earlier discussion. But can anyone confirm if Bo is still in crypto? Yeah, incredible. It's all documented in Bo's newsletter. If you want to go in there, if you're a member, or if you want to go get it, you can go in there. Bo told everybody, he wasn't telling you what to do, but he said, "Here's what I'm doing. I'm selling all of my crypto because he saw a big dip coming. Then he said he's going to rebuy. Then we got the big dip. Then he rebought everything. And actually, I can't give this away because it's also in the newsletter, but you will be very surprised at what he bought when he bought back in, the allocations. And let's just say XRP is featured nicely and maybe surprisingly to some of you people, but that's all in his newsletter. I always want to be respectful to people that are subscribers and not share too much, but it's all documented. All the past episodes are in there with the time and date stamps of when he released them. So you can go verify. But Bo, just to clear it up and confirm, you are most definitely still in crypto, and we got a wild ride coming. Maybe we can shift into some crypto talk now.
Yeah, so we can go to crypto. Basically, crypto, meaning blockchain, Bitcoin. Again, Bitcoin is Godfather. It determines direction of everything. The internet blew up when it was dropping in price. Everyone's freaking out, and all of us are just laughing because we knew it was coming. It was crazy to watch it all happen. As much as I know it's coming and I watch it happen, I still like going, wow, this is kind of cool to see it actually play out. You got to admit, no, it's fun to watch because it's just like, it's literally playing out exactly what we wrote. Because my newsletter is not like, if this happens, then that, right? My newsletter is nothing like that. My newsletter is like, on this date, I'm exiting, and on this date, I'm going to buy back in. That's all I write in my newsletters. It's so simple. It's anybody can follow that. It's incredibly simple to understand. But specifically, I will give a freebie away. So, all of those, the God revealed me the pattern of Bitcoin's pattern. And this is key because Bitcoin being Godfather of direction of price movement, okay, we are completing. And what's happened here is that Bitcoin has been running a 4-year cycle. And everybody talks about that, okay? So it's going to be historic what's about to happen, but that's about to break, okay? So it's very, very awesome what's about to happen. There's a time point here in the not too distant future that Bitcoin, XRP, and the other coins are going to start to rip to the upside. Very exciting. It's about to happen here, okay? It's coming. However, silver is front running all of this, okay? So when you go back and run, when I look at the patterns, silver front runs everything. And then Bitcoin, XRP, and the alternate coins are going to play a game of catch up, and that's next. But XRP is coming. Its time is coming. Right now, silver is front running this entire trade because silver is directly tying in with the great wealth transfer.
Yeah.
And the wealth transfer is scriptural. The wealth of the sinner is stored up for the righteous. Not everybody. What does righteous mean? Because a lot of people think we're crazy. A lot of people are invested in the Federal Reserve System and think that's almighty. That's, but they're about to find out the Federal Reserve is not federal. It's not, there are no reserves, and it's bankers out of London that have been manipulating the price of everything for generations. Okay. So the explosion of gold and silver is the fall of the fiat-based money system. It's the fall of Babylon's money. And what's the Babylon's money? It's the Federal Reserve System. So we are about to experience and witness the fall of the Federal Reserve System, which allows the world to shift into an honest money system of gold and silver and cryptocurrencies for transactions of products at distance. And maybe you can expand upon products at distance and what that really means.
Well, sure. Gold and silver are great, but it's been centuries since we've used them to actually trade with. They're a great store of wealth. Obviously, I'm big on gold and silver, but transacting at distance, we had the revolution of information where all of a sudden you could go online and get access to any bit of information you wanted. You could send an email and it would arrive instantly. That was the revolution of information, where you didn't have to send a letter anymore. And that's coming for money. There's coming a time where you won't have to. And look, I still like cash. I don't like a cashless society. I don't personally love it. It's coming whether I like it or not. But there's going to be a time when you won't physically hand over cash. Even right now, when you use your credit card, you think that's instant, but it takes 4 or 5 days to settle behind the scenes between all the different middlemen that are involved. And all that stuff's going to go away, and it's just going to be instant settlement at distance, any distance you want, on the blockchain.
That's exactly it. And the point is, like, I'm sitting here in California. I'm not sure what state Noah's in right now, but if I wanted to buy a shirt from Noah because Noah's selling a shirt, I'm not going to mail him a silver coin. How foolish would that be when I can, with a click of a button on my computer or phone, have it paid in a fraction of a second? You get what I'm saying? It makes complete sense. And the world is a digital age right now. And so, yes, the beast system is rising in the future, but remember the scripture, God uses all things for his glory. All things for his glory. And so he's going to use the blockchain specifically to allow the world to transact at distance using blockchain. And why that's important, because when the Federal Reserve System goes down, let me ask you a question. How are you going to send a wire if the Fed system's down? If the banks collapse, many of them, and some remain, but if no one is transacting, if everyone finds out the Federal Reserve System was like a complete control system, and now there's a new money system because Trump's going to bring on a new financial system backed on gold, out of gold. Okay, right. So no one's going to want to use the Fed wire system. That's what everybody misses. No one's going to want to use checks anymore. No one's going to want to go to the bank and talk to bank tellers anymore because they don't need to. They could off their phone simply. It's like you go on Amazon, you can buy anything you want with a click of a button. Why would you want to go to the bank to buy something if you can just a click of a button, use your phone? That's the new age of technology and speed. That's what's coming. And then there's also scoffers out there, that are talking specifically about, because, hey, Noah and Bo talk about money all the time. Let me ask you a question. Who's made all and had all the money of the world? The globalists. They created out of thin air. We showed you. They went into 15 zeros in a matter of 50 years. They created the money out of thin air. And what have they done with the money? They've taken the name of Satan and demonic influence around the entire globe. That's what they've done with it. Okay. They've taken the money they've created and they basically, they use bribes and payoffs, and they've done one thing, taken demonic activity around the globe. Look what happened with COVID. Are you kidding me? So anybody who says money's bad, why don't you go study scriptures? You understand that David's son, Solomon, loaded. Okay. Why? He had unlimited wealth. Why? Because he was working for God. You see, God's going to bless his church. He's going to take the finances away from the wicked and give it to the righteous. Doesn't mean everybody. It means the righteous. And then the righteous are going to take the name of not what they've been doing, because they've been taking evil around the world. The righteous are going to take the name of Jesus Christ around the world to the four corners of the earth. And you need mass amounts of money of that for that, because the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few.
Yeah, I mean, money is like anything else. It's just a tool, but and having money does not make you better than not having money. But I totally reject this idea that everyone, it's just it's holier and better to just be poor, and isn't that great? And the Bible doesn't say that. And most of the people, Abraham was one of the wealthiest people in the Old Testament, huge flocks of everything, animals and everything else, and Solomon and David, and so that money is not the end goal. The love of money is the root of all evil. That's what the Bible says. But
and the point I'm trying to make here is financially, the church needs the money because the great harvest is about saving souls. It's back to all the scoffers. Scoff all you want. There's very few left. There's always a few in the woodwork. But God wants to wake you up. Why? Because he loves you. He hates your sin. He hates what you're doing, but he loves you. Truly, he loves you. He hates what you're doing. He hates your sin. But he loves you so much, and he wants to shake you, to awaken you, so that ultimately you will choose wisely and be on the correct side of history, because you can't stop what's coming. God is moving upon this earth, and he's going to move in a way he hasn't moved in 2,000 years. So people are saying, oh, the great and terrible day is not going to happen. Oh, people are not going to disappear right in front of your eyes. Millions of people. Oh, yeah, they will. Oh, yes, they will. Because God has spoken this. All of this is going to happen. And why? God's going to create a move of God that's going to shake you to your core.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. It's been a blast in the comments here. Let me just put a few on the screen. I got one person asking, where did it go? There it is. Please share with us how to get Bo's newsletter. I've got it right on the screen right now at the very top of the screen. Bo's newsletter is at gold2020forecast.com. And for anybody listening to this show, he's put together a special coupon code you can use if you want to sign up for that and subscribe. Look for the coupon code box, discount code, type in WLT49, and that's going to give you 50% off your order. So make sure you use that to take advantage of that. That'll give you access to the newsletter. You get all the new newsletters that come out, usually every couple days or so. And then you'll get access to the full archive. So everything we've been talking about today, you can go in and verify. You can see when Bo told everybody he was selling his crypto, when he told everybody he was buying back in. You can see those prices. It's pretty incredible. It's all documented in black and white. So that's awesome. So there it is right there. Bo's channel is Gold 2020 Forecast, and the website is gold2020forecast.com. I got some people asking about what my podcast is called. You're listening to it. You're on with us. It's the Daily Truth Report. And so we're on YouTube and Rumble. So just type in Daily Truth Report and click subscribe or follow or whatever. That way you'll get all of the future times Bo comes on the show and you won't miss that. So make sure you're following Daily Truth Report and follow Bo. Bo, you're on X and YouTube, right? Is it just your name or is it Gold 2020? I forget.
It's both, but mainly you can just put my name as the easiest. When you go to X or Twitter, just make sure it's the one with the blue check mark. A lot of people are scamming, just a ton of fake accounts, as you know. And even on YouTube, be very careful. It's go to my channel, my name, Gold 2020 Forecast, or Bo Polny. It's the ones with like 150,000 plus subscribers, because there's so many channels right now that are literally stealing videos and just mocking them up or just making them look crazy as well too. So again, ton of scam accounts or fake accounts out there, and a lot of these accounts actually make it look like I'm reaching out to you, asking you, hey, asking you questions, and then they're asking you, they're going to invest things for you. Trust me, Noah nor I ask anybody for money. Yes, you can go to my website if you want to get my newsletter or something, but we personally don't ask you. We don't reach out to anybody. Okay, so there's people out there that I know have lost much money because they've reached out to a lot of these. They respond to some of these emails, which then leads them to those fake. Some fake, what do they call those? Fake other accounts, and then it sounds like we're talking to you, but we're not. So be very, very careful. Specifically, just YouTube, Bo's channel, 150,000, or on X, Bo's, my name with a blue check mark. Then you're listening to either Noah or myself, but it's the real deal. Be very cautious. Do not respond to any emails out there of people going to do you a great favor and invest some money for you or invest your money for you. No. Be very careful. Do not get scammed. I've heard a lot of people getting, scammed by some of these people.
Yeah, please don't do that. And there's a new one I saw going around, Bo, where they're just so dishonest and so deceptive. Yeah. I hate scammers more than anything. But the new one I've seen is they're playing up on that angle, and they're saying if you did get scammed or if you did fall victim to some sort of online theft, contact us and we'll help you get your money back. They're not going to help you get your money back. They're going to ask for your bank account number and they're going to drain all the money out of your account. So don't do that either. Just don't reach out to anybody online. No one is contacting you that's any good. I will never contact you. Bo will never contact you. And I just hate that stuff. So
in closing, what I'll say is this, silver's on the move. It's front running. Bitcoin's next. It's about to get going here with XRP and the other coins. So very exciting time point. If you're interested in XRP and some of the alternate coins and Bitcoin, when these moves are going to start to happen, again, the Lord's showing me the cycle patterns again. So all these things are coming. They're in the near future. So again, they're in my newsletter if you want it. Not everybody needs a newsletter. Okay. That's the point. It's just not everybody needs this stuff. But if you truly are passionate and you love the trading aspect of it, you like watching the markets move, to see the movement of it, to know what's in front of you and not be guessing. If you don't want to guess, again, it's in my newsletter, but again, like I always say, not everybody needs it. And then furthermore, like right in front of Easy Crypto School, Noah can expand upon that, but you really need to learn about crypto and cryptocurrencies and how to operate with it and not really make huge mistakes. Go ahead, Noah.
Well, yeah, it's one of my favorite things to tell people about because it does keep them safe. It'll educate you if you don't know how to do any of this stuff. It'll teach you how to do things the right way, which websites are safe, what a wallet is, how to hold your crypto, where to hold it, what not to do, where not to send it, all that type of stuff. So that's easycryptoschool.com if you want to get that. Again, not everybody needs that. If you know what you're doing already, you don't need that. But for the people that are hearing my voice and you're overwhelmed or you want to make sure you don't fall victim to a scam, then you can go to easycryptoschool.com. You can use that same discount code, WLT49. You'll get 50% off. And you can grab that. But Bo, I love how you always say this, and I'm so glad you do. Not everybody needs that, and not everybody needs your newsletter. Some people just really enjoy you coming on the show here and giving an hour of your time and a lot of freebies. But for the people that want it, it's there for you.
I want to thank you for having me here on your podcast. It's been a joy and a journey these past few years with you, Noah, and I'm glad we've been friends in contact for the past roughly 5 years. We got together, I think years ago, specifically, very interestingly, we got together after oil collapsed to negative $38 a barrel. A little bit of a history on Noah and I, and Noah can confirm this, but basically I did a podcast with Greg Hunter telling, hey, Greg, watch, we're going to watch something historic going out on 4/21 in the year 2020. And we all watched on April 21, 2020, oil collapsed to negative $38 a barrel. Like, what the heck is all that about? And then Noah reached out to me and said, let's do a podcast together. And then one of our podcasts, we literally said, hey, now the next really date we want to watch is September 18th, 2020, because something big's going to happen. And next thing you know, we talk about this. And on that day, Ruth Bader Ginsburg dies. So that started our journey. Noah and I have been doing podcasts together for 5 years. And one thing we've done for 5 years, I believe if people have listened to us, we've pointed people in the right direction. And it's fun to go to events. Like I was at a Clay Clark event just the other day, or his Glory event 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. And all I have people coming up to me and saying, I've been watching you and I've invested in, I've bought precious metals like you have. I've got silver, I've got gold, and I've really been buying silver. My wife thought I was crazy, or my husband thought I was crazy. And now my husband or my wife, are saying, why did you listen to me? You should have bought more.
I love it.
So what a journey that Noah and I have been on. And if you literally take 5 years from our podcast in April of 2020, the Pope dies 5 years later to the exact day, 4/21. If you add 8 months to it, new beginning, you're at the end of December, actually specifically, you're at December 21, which is the last day of fall, first day of winter. And the prophecy goes, in the fall, they fall in
fall. Yep, that's right. Well, we got to wrap up, but I'll give everybody one teaser here before we go. Oh, and then a couple quick notes. But one teaser, Bo, you told me before we went live on the air, and I can't reveal everything you told me. And I think you even said, and I think this is true from my reading, you have not released this to the newsletter yet, to the paid newsletter yet. But there is a coming Bitcoin spike that's going to be bigger than anything we've seen before. Bo's got the time frame for that. He knows when it's going to hit. He'll be announcing that at some point in the future to the paid newsletter, but that'll be in there. It's going to be really exciting. Bigger than, running up to 125,000 Bitcoin has been exciting, but he said something that's going to really dwarf that. So that's super exciting. There are a lot of good things in store. It looks like I got a page full of notes here. Looks like the next 5 days, maybe the next 5 to 7 days are going to be absolutely wild. And of course, we'll have you back on. Let's try and do it before Christmas. And I have a feeling there are going to be a lot of sound bites from this interview right here that we're going to look back on, we're going to put into clips and replay, because I think this was a huge show. So thanks for being on. Everybody, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one.
Live from America's heartland.
What's up, everybody? Noah here, and I'm interrupting this message for just a minute to talk to you about crypto. Now, look, I'm sure you've heard of Bitcoin. You've maybe heard of Ethereum or my favorite, XRP. You've probably heard about crypto for the last 10 years, but you haven't known where to start. I'm guessing it's been very intimidating. I'm guessing it's been a little scary. You don't know what's safe. You don't trust your money just flying around in cyberspace. So, look, I'm here. I finally have the answer for you. I want to tell you about a company called Caleb & Brown. I'm so excited to be working with these guys. They've actually been around since 2016. I've been watching them. I've been making sure they're safe. I've been watching their track record. I've been watching how they operate, and they're incredible. In almost 10 years, they've never had a single hack. They've never had a single scandal, never lost $1 of customer funds, never even been at risk. They're safe, secure, insured, highly regulated, institutional grade custody, which is the same thing that all the big boys get when they buy crypto. It goes somewhere safe. It's not going to get touched. It's not going to get hacked. It goes into cold storage. And here's the best part. You get assigned, when you sign up with them, it's totally free to sign up. You get assigned your own personal broker. You have somebody that you're going to talk to them every time you call in. You're not going to rotate around. You're going to get your broker. You can have them for the next 10 years. You'll talk to them every time you call in. They'll get to know you. You'll get to know them. It's fantastic. It's just like it used to be our whole lives with calling a stockbroker, buying stocks. I never used to worry that my stock account was going to get hacked or go to zero or go bankrupt. And I always had someone I could talk to. I could talk to my stockbroker. We could talk about ideas. That's what I finally got for you with Caleb & Brown. It's 100% free to set up an account. No hidden fees. Super easy. So go to, I set up a unique link here so you'll know that you're in the right place. It's called safewithnoah.com. That's SAFE, safewithnoah.com. I think safety is so important in crypto. I put it in the name of my website. When you go there, you're going to see a page that has my name at the top. It has Caleb & Brown at the top. You'll see my logo there for the WLT report. When you see that page, you know you're in the right spot. Go ahead, sign up for an account. There's no charge for that. Get your foot in the door, meet your broker, have a few phone calls with them, and then go from there. All right. I think you're going to love it. Caleb & Brown. You can get to it by going to safewithnoah.com. All right. I'll see you later. Thanks.